Our guests in this segment are from the American Red Cross. Leslie Caliva, good morning to you.
Good morning. So glad to be here.
Deborah Fleming, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Great to have you both here. So first and foremost, Leslie, I understand it 56 years with the Red Cross as a volunteer?
Sir. Yes, sir. Started out in Germany at a medical clinic there with the U.S. Forces as a Army spouse, and gosh, a long history with doing a lot of things, a lot of wonderful things with this organization. It's a great place to be.
Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you said that you started out in Germany doing that. How many years were you there?
On and off, 16 for different tours, but yeah, so, and left Germany as the chairman for the entire region, which was all of Europe and over into Turkey and some other far places. It's a different world, but it's been an incredible ride. People ask me why, but I guess the why is why we're here, is to tell you why. Mm-hmm. We just have a wonderful mission with so many different places to land, different things to learn, different places to serve. It's a great place to be.
Has anyone been with Red Cross longer than what you have?
Oh, yes, sir. Actually, my husband.
Oh,
65
right?
years, yes, 66 years. And we had a volunteer who we lost several years ago. That was Charles Zuckerman, who was the mayor for Winchester. And Charles was with the organization 65 at least. So there are those of us who hang in there because we believe.
Well, that's great. Deborah, good morning to you as well.
Thank you.
And how long have you been with the Red Cross?
I've been with the Red Cross for about 4 years.
Oh, that's nothing.
Nothing. Compared to Leslie.
Baby.
Yeah, and what drew you to the Red Cross?
Actually, from the time I was in a disaster when I was 4 years old in the Johnstown flood.
Oh.
So it was always in the back of my mind of wanting to help people. And when my kids grew up, I knew it was a commitment. So when they were a little bit older, I applied and was fortunate enough to be able to become a disaster program manager, and then moved to Hagerstown about a year ago, and was able to become the executive director.
Yeah, that's great. What is the primary mission and goal of the Red Cross?
Go ahead. Leslie says it better than anybody.
The American Red Cross prevents and alleviates human suffering in the face of emergency. And it's by mobilizing the power of volunteers and the generosity of our donors, and that's the word, the official wording. The fact is that we are there in time. We focus on preparedness, but we also focus on response, so that when there is crisis, whether it's disaster or a need for blood or training to respond appropriately at time of an auto accident, or if it's supporting our service members and their families while they serve and after, and of course supporting our international mission. We're there, and we have those branches, and I know that Deborah is going to talk at length about a good deal of them, and then I'm going to kick in.
Go right ahead, Deborah.
Well, so we do have 3 branches of the American Red Cross, and that is our humanitarian, which we'll get to at the end, our blood services, and our training services. So the training services is exactly, to help with what you experienced this weekend in a car crash, or if somebody's having a heart attack. That's where we teach first aid, AED, CPR, and also babysitting classes. So those are some preparedness programs.
AED is the defibrillator, right?
Yes. And then we also have our blood program, which we collect 40% of the blood that is sold to hospitals or given to hospitals. We do sell the blood to recoup the costs of processing it. So you may hear something about that. We don't just, we don't sell blood for a profit. We do it, the hospital buys it for, to make sure that that we are able to produce that consistently. So that is something that we are very proud of, that we are able to support, 40% of the blood that is collected within the United States. And actually in November, we have a special where it's if you give blood, you get your A1C test, And so what that is for is to help with National Diabetes Awareness Month. And so we're encouraging donors to give at that time. It's a pre-screening to see if you have diabetes or pre-diabetes. So that's something that we're really excited about. And also, if you give from today until November 16th, we're providing a $20 Amazon gift card.
Oh, how nice.
So that helps a little bit with the holidays as well.
Mr. Stubblefield.
Good morning, ladies. Leslie, 56 years with the Red Cross.
Yes.
Is the Red Cross perceived the same way today as what it was 56 years ago?
56 years ago.
Or 20 years ago.
20
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I don't know about perception. I think we're always seen as we are there. I hope that I always hope that our image is out there. I know we have one of the most positive images in the world, and probably one of the most recognized. Are we the same organization? Oh gosh, no. We have evolved. We have to stay relevant. We have to recruit volunteers in a different way. We have to mobilize our staff. We look at Katrina as one of our biggest turning points in disaster response because we learned so much from that massive epic disaster. We do things so differently, but it's as with any organization that is going to be responsive, we have got to be relevant. We have to keep up with the times, the technology, and certainly a change in what we call the volunteer, paradigm. When I joined the Red Cross, women stayed home, and we joined organizations, and we did what we were going to do. And now we look at a family members as that their time is limited, and so we look at a different group. But yeah, hope that answered your question. It was a long answer.
Well, no, and it was a good answer, but I was actually trying to get to a specific point. Okay. 25, 30 years or so ago, there was a public misconception, a public scandal, whatever you want to call it. Deborah, you made the comment that that the blood is not being sold for profit, but yet about 25, 30 years or so ago, there's an investigation that said blood was being sold to cover the majority of the administrative cost. And that turned a lot of people off at the time. My question, in kind of a long, convoluted way, have you been able to recover from that problem, that issue?
Yeah, I think people understand that, to process blood, to make sure that it's safe for people who are receiving it, that there's a process that it goes through, and it's a pretty lengthy process. And we can't do that, without income. So that's how they've been able to provide that. So, there is no, for-profit side for the biomed side.
But was there at one time?
No.
So the investigation that at least what was doled out to the public was a misrepresentation. Is that fair?
If you don't mind, I was around during a lot of the time that we went through blood transformation, and it was not due to that particular rumor that I understand. Most of it was in making sure that we were in total compliance with safety issues, testing, and that sort of thing. And what it resulted in is a way that we administratively managed blood so that there was a direct line to the president and to the board of governors, and that everything was as it should be. And it was a big deal for us. It took us a long time, but I will tell you, we have the safest blood supply. We have an amazing biomedical team that we work with every single day, and they work hard and they are dedicated to that safe blood supply. But no, we have never made a profit for that.
Okay, that's good. Kind of picking up on that one last question, except for Katrina, sort of a natural disaster, do you have enough blood?
It is very hard to say we ever have enough blood, right?
Yeah, we're always in a critical need of blood, and especially after COVID, blood donations dropped off, and around the holidays, they always drop off. So, this time, is really important that people, while they're shopping and they're getting ready for the holidays, that they remember that there are people, with cancer. There are people, that still need blood, that are in car accidents, and that this is a really important time to make sure that they don't forget to give. So, blood, we're always at a critical state of needing blood here in the United States.
And a lot of that is impacted by the major disasters that we are experiencing time and time and time again, repeatedly, because every time there's a major disaster, we lose the ability to collect blood, often because of that disaster, because of that flooding, that wildfire, wherever that is. Often many of the collections that were scheduled have to be canceled. So that puts us in a shortage supply. It's just absolutely critical that those outside of those disaster zones consider and continue to be blood donors on a regular basis.
And one more question, John, and I promise I'll shut up after this. In our nationalism attitude, how much of the blood is given to other countries?
So
you have that.
When there is a surplus of blood here, and if it's requested by the government to send blood to U.S. citizens overseas, then we can ship that blood. Right now, we are at a critical time where we need the blood here. So it goes to local people first, but it is shipped over following regulations when it is needed overseas for U.S. citizens.
John,
I've dealt with y'all at multiple levels, at a personal level. When you talk about disasters, people, when you talk about in the media, we talk about disasters as these huge things, but most disasters are very small and they're very personal.
Yes, sir.
And I will tell you that over the years, I have been to, countless house fires that have burned down. And I get on the radio and I call EOC, Emergency Operations Center, and I say, contact Red Cross. And then magic happens. I have no idea. I never actually did that dealing. But by the time I was pulling hose lines out of the burning building, there was a Red Cross volunteer there with stuff. And it was stuff that was making the family whole again. And that's a part of the Red Cross that people don't talk about a whole lot. Now, going back farther than that, when I was maybe 13, younger than that, 11, I guess, I was at a hotel, Split Rock Lodge in the Poconos, and it burned to the ground in the middle of the night. And there was no fire alarm system in this hotel. It was almost a disaster. And we evacuated the hotel and we lost everything. So it was a cold night. It was a summer night. It was in the Poconos. It was like in the 50s or 60s. And we had nothing. I had pajama pants. That was it. That's what I had. Mm-hmm. And in comes the Red Cross. And when I had clothes and a jacket out of it. In fact, one of the big fears that came out of it is I had the only shirt that I had was buttoned the wrong way. It was a lady's blouse. Belonged to Emma Garvey. I know that because her name was in the back of it. And the thing that I was absolutely paranoid about was that everybody knew that I was wearing women's clothes. But it looked like a shirt. But that's the stuff you guys do that doesn't get enough attention. It means it impacts more. It's more than just a blood group. You put lives back together. And I'm not the interview here, but I'm giving you all a commercial. I have nothing but respect for what you do and the training you do and the lives you save. But it's more than just saving lives. It's about putting lives back together.
And I think the important part of that is that 90% of the people who are in our organization are volunteers. And those are the people that you're most likely going to see, at a hotel fire or a home fire. And it's 90% of the responses we attend are single family fires. So that is something that I think, anybody in the community who would want to be a part of supporting their neighbors can join the Red Cross, help with the disaster victims. It is extremely rewarding to hear what you're saying right now, all these years later, and the impact it had on your life. It's the same thing, that the impact of having people who care about you that was on my life as well. It changed the focus. I was always in nonprofits and healthcare from that point forward.
Ladies, let me explain what just happened here. John, of course, is a creative genius. He's written best-selling books for the last 30 years. One night he got busted wearing women's clothing. And he had to create this elaborate backstory under the guise of this Red Cross appearance, which he arranged, which no one knows, to explain to the public in case, I'm guessing this is about to get out. So he kind of tried to get ahead of the story and explain why he was busted wearing women's clothing one night in the Poconos.
And that's okay. We'll take it.
Did you
Way to steal the moment, Robert? Jeez.
Did you schedule the Red Cross interview this morning just so that you can expose John Gilstrap?
Sounds like he exposed himself.
Yeah.
There, Bill. Yeah.
Oh,
No, we're not going to go down that way.
I think we'll stay out of that one.
Now, I want to actually take this back the other way here. There's a difference between the warmth of the back of a police car and the warmth of the back of an ambulance, which is where the family goes initially, and the warmth of the back of the volunteer's car.
It sounds
that comes
like he has
there. It's
experience.
just different.
He's been there.
Yes.
Yes.
After a fire.
After a fire.
You're catching on now.
There we go.
Deborah.
That's it. I'm going to stop trying to be nice.
know.
That's it. I'm just going to stop trying to be nice.
No, and you know, you ask why I do 56 years. Those are the stories that keep the volunteers going, is knowing how much of a difference they can make, and having been the mom and grandma of standing with their own family as their house burned down. I know the feeling. I know for them the feeling where they're standing there, and the neighbors are bringing them flip-flops to put on their feet. And thankfully, you knew to get out. You got out, and you know to get out.
Let's pick up on that. Out of 56 years, you've seen a lot of emergencies, a
Yes, sir.
lot of examples of human caring. Does one stick out above all the others?
Oh gosh, people ask me that, and but Deb asked me to be here because my service to the armed forces and international background, and there's one story that I love to share about international services, because a lot of folks don't even know that we do this, and that we reconnect families after armed conflict, after major international disasters, and after forced migration situations. And 30 years after Vietnam had gone down, we had a very elderly Vietnamese woman and her grandson come into an office. This is when I was in Fredericksburg, and say, we are still trying to find one member of our family. We have reconnected completely except for one member. And can you help us? And they had done all their homework, so we filled out the paperwork. I called National Headquarters. I said, can we take this case? Yes, we can take the case. And within 3 weeks, when I sent that case up, our team at National was able to help locate this nephew for this very elderly. You knew she was in her last years, that she was able to know what happened. And they had gotten out during the mass evacuations after Vietnam on the planes, because they had worked for the American government and had to get out. But we brought together a family after that long. And we have the ability to do that. We do that in disasters, all internally here in the United States, but we do it around the world. It still makes my heart sing I know we could do that.
Yeah, there's a local resident, former delegate Tom Bibby, who was one of the soldiers flying people out of Vietnam during that evacuation. He's
oh my gosh,
local resident here. Yeah. How does the Red Cross get its funds?
From the generosity of our donors. We are not a government agency. Let me.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's my soapbox, because so many, because we work with our governments, whether it's in disaster response or with our services of the armed forces. So many people think we're a government agency, and sometimes we do. That duck kind of walks that way and quacks that way, but we don't. We have a few government grants that help support particularly services to the armed forces, but our money comes from that person writing the check, getting on the internet, giving the money, saying, oh my gosh, how can I help those disaster victims? That's how we are funded. We are funded by generosity of individuals, businesses, and corporations across the world that love what we do and believe in us.
Is there a significant endowment that spins off regular money?
I'm going to let Deb answer that.
a particular endowment outside of the
I mean,
Red
is there
Cross, or-
is there a consistent, reliable source of funds that lives on, or are you living donation by donation?
Well, the majority, I mean, we have an endowment. We're building that right now, but it gives us a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. So that's something that we are building, for the future. And one of the main reasons for that is, in 1980, there were 3 national disasters a year that we responded to. Last year, we responded to 27. So, as things are changing in the world, the disasters are getting bigger. We know that is something that we have to adjust to. So we're definitely, trying to prepare for the future. We're always looking at the future. We always have a forward-looking plan.
So
And
you
there's
said
Bill, we're out. You
Okay,
can't get into
sorry.
that now because we're going to run out of time here. But there's a disaster heading toward Jamaica right now, and I got 30 seconds. If you can tell folks how they can donate to the Red Cross now, Deborah, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you would like to go to 1-800 Red Cross, you can call that number or go onto redcross.org, and you can sign up to give blood or sign up to become a volunteer. We'd love to have you. You meet some great people there too.
Hey, thanks so much for coming in this morning. Leslie, congratulations on your 56
Thank
years.
you so much.
That's
Appreciate it.
incredible. Great stuff.
All right.
Deborah, nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.